in Acres, we love metaphors. And there's a metaphor that reminds me of thinking of these conversations you have with youth, like an accordion, that sometimes it's going to go out and you might ask a purposeful question that's really open and it might go in a direction you weren't really intending, but it's fascinating as well. But then you can bring it back to your learning goal. We're going to talk about purposeful questions as like a process in just a moment. But yeah, you might go somewhere else. But what brilliance we will see from our youth when we give them open questions.
It's interesting. We also chatted a bit about leading versus intentional, and that like kind of talking about what does intentional mean versus the leading. And so, because like if you want to lead them to something, is it intentional? So kind of that like discussion a bit. And then one thing that I had shared too was my favorite open-ended question is, how do you know? Like really applicable for like reading, providing that evidence, math, providing your explanation, science. We had a good chat.
Awesome. Yeah, excellent question to keep mulling over. Being intentional versus too much leading, right? We talk about nudging youth towards goals, and how to be mindful of that, right?
I think I call it a bumper lane, like bumpers, like when we're bowling.
I love that. Another metaphor. Say a little more about that, Marisol. Could you?
Well, yeah, well, it's just on point with what you're saying about like you have an end goal of like what the point is of your lesson, and if you're asking open-ended questions, it's going to be like an expansive lane. But then if you're like asking the questions that kind of keep it in the lane of your learning goal, then you're kind of guiding the conversation to make sure that you are going to knock down as many pins as you get.
Love it. Thank you. I think that might be a metaphor we need to continue to share. That is awesome.